Greetings, it's your boy Gartasia, you know the vibes. Back from a jog, still sweatier than ever, but less sweaty than yesterday. It is a striking 80 degrees outside. The birds are chirping. On my jog today, I saw a bunch of beautiful souls. Hopefully, I encounter one and raise their vibration, and hopefully, they did the same. Well, actually, they did do the same to me because I am flying on a hill of joy and bliss right now. Runner's high is not a lie. Don't give in to the hype. Keep doing you. Today, I have just a story of the value of just staying in your energy, right? A lot of you all, like me, you know, empaths. There's a lot of empaths out here, right? All my empaths, if you hear my voice, clap once. If you hear my voice, clap twice. Okay? Listen, it's great being an empath. You get to connect with people. You get to really bond with people and, feel energies. And, you usually do a good job of sifting out people who would be right for you, sifting out people who would be wrong for you, But the bad side of being an empath, right, is sometimes others people's energy can like deeply affect you, right? So I found out I'm an empath because I can be like at a baseline level, say like my energy level is a 5 out of 10, which hasn't happened in a long time because it's summertime and I be popping out, I be outside. Anywho, say I'm at a 5 out of 10, right? Let me know if this rings a bell to you. You know you're an empath when you could be like at a 5, and then you walk into a certain room and like no words are said, no actions are done. There's just energy and there's just faces and there's just people, right? And then based on that, do you see yourself like getting to a 6 or like a 7? It's just like a feeling in your belly, like you just feel like something good's about to happen, right? I can't describe it, but you just feel like this is a place that like we're gonna create a space that is gonna like uplift the vibration. So I guess like as an empath, that translates as almost as an anticipation for like an uplift of the vibration, and then you get that boost without anything actually happening. So that's the good part of being an empath. Sometimes the side effect is the same thing can happen. You could be at a 5, or even worse, you can be like at a 7 where you having fun, right? And then you step into a room and then like you see some frowns, you see some like attitudes, whatever, or you just catch something, a little something sets you aback, right? And then just like that, energy dives, energy tanks, right? Now you at a 5, now you at a 3, right? And it's like, why am I like this? Who has the answers? Why am I so sensitive? But that's good that you're sensitive, right? Because apparently a lot of people, they're not even tapped into their energy. So first, give a round of applause for yourself for, and I feel like an empath, I feel like it is something that can be worked on. So I'm not saying like, oh, if you're born an empath, give a round of applause. If you've worked on yourself to getting to that spiritual point where you are sensitive to frequencies and sensitive to senses that go beyond the 5 senses, give yourself a round of applause. Because I didn't always used to be an empath, but I was able to tap into that energy as I got into my spiritual journey, as I started doing the work, as I started waking up every day meditating, as I started journaling, as I started, really focusing on the inner me and just building value in my own inner resources, right? But yeah, I just wanted to double down today as a reminder of just staying in your energy no matter what. And it's just like what reminded me of this is literally yesterday. So I live in downtown Chicago, right? I'm on the second floor, and my air conditioner is like 2 years old, and that mug was dirty and dusty, and it wasn't working, right? And it was like 97 degrees yesterday, and I've been meaning to call in the maintenance crew, but just my job has had me in the field. I didn't get time to do it. You feel me? But yesterday it was work from home, so you know what that means. I was doing other shit except work. Anywho, please don't listen to this, boss. Okay, so I call the maintenance guy. I call the company, and then the company, it's like an automated phone system. It's like, okay, please, we'll send a maintenance guy your way in about ETA, blah, 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 right? So lo and behold, I get a call from the maintenance guy. And right off the bat, me being an empath, the kind of, I guess, superpower of being an empath, sometimes you can detect energies like over the phone, like just tones of the voice. And right off the bat, his tone was just, it was a tone of fatigue. It was a tone of frustration. It was a tone of, oh shit, here we go again. That CJ meme. That's the tone. So when I hear this tone, I'm like, okay, Let me turn on my therapy mode. Let me turn on my, already I have to tap into a space of non-reactivity because that's already a vibe that's like a step or two below where I was, and I'm not trying to go there. So I have to like be mindful. Like, okay, let me try to raise the vibration. So over the phone, I'm saying, trying to express gratitude. I'm saying, hi, thank you so much. I appreciate you. This means so much to me. Just being positive, even though, his tone is very low, and he's basically like, what's the problem? Does your air conditioner work? I'm saying, yes, it works, but it's not blowing cool air. And he's like, what do you mean not cool air? Like, is it hot in there? And I'm like, yes, it is hot. Basically, his questions are kind of like, there's a tone of sarcasm. There's a tone of, what's the word? Not cynicism. There was a tone of condescension in his voice almost. There was a tone of him almost like looking down on me, like, here goes this idiot who doesn't even know what he's talking about. And it was pretty obvious. It was pretty obvious. So I picked up on the energy, and even over the phone, he's asking these questions, like almost like kind of doubting what I'm saying. Like, obviously, if I called you, the air conditioner's not working. So why are you telling me, asking all these questions? Like, did you turn on the ceiling fan? Like whatever. And I'm like, bro, I know what it feels like when the air conditioner works and this one's not working. It's not blowing cool air. And he's uh, did you try like turn on the ceiling fan? Did you try closing the window blinds? And I was like, listen. I didn't even say that. I was just like, yes, I did, sir. I would love for you to come through and give it a check out. That would be great. I didn't even argue with him because I saw where this is going. He was just trying to prove me wrong, whatever. I guess some people, when they're frustrated, just proving anybody wrong makes them feel better about themselves. And I feel like they do that. Like, there's a software running in their head. They do that automatically. I don't think they're consciously like, let me make this person feel bad. But it's like subconsciously, they've been beaten down all day, that when they get a chance to, like, especially a nice person, right? When they get a chance to like kind of lower that person's energy, it's almost like evidence to that ego part of their brain that, oh yeah, look at me, I still got it in me, I can still affect change. That's really what it is. People want to have influence, and the unfortunate part about it is some people go about that influence either in a positive way or a negative way. But the ego doesn't care. As long as the ego has influenced somebody, either positively or negatively, it makes the ego feel good about itself. Like, oh, I did that. So look at me like being a shrink. But that's not what we came here for. So anyway, he was like, okay, I'll come over in 10 minutes, and just hangs up with an attitude. So I'm doing my laundry. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Definitely felt the vibes, but still I was like, let me take a deep breath. When he comes, I'm gonna be peaceful, non-reactive, and I'm just gonna be there, a sponge. I'm just gonna listen to what he says. I'm not gonna argue with him, whatever. I'm just gonna keep the peace, right? Keep the energy going. Treat him, just like I would treat everybody else as a king and a queen, right? So lo and behold, time passes. There's like, I guess like 20 minutes later, he shows up, and yeah, he's like, knock, knock, knock. First of all, when I come back up to bring the laundry, he's like already there. So crazy coincidence, right? Like, just the timing of it. Like, the moment I come up, he had just came up. And then he sees me, and I think he was little. He didn't expect me to be as tall as I was or whatever. Because when he sees me, he kind of looks me up and down, like, okay, let me chill a little bit. That's the vibe I got. His energy was not as aggressive as on the phone, but he was still like kind of aggressive in a little bit, but just not making eye contact, not in my face, because he's like, a lot of people are talk a lot of shit through the phone, but in person sometimes they are more chill. So that's just an observation. Anyway, he comes in, he's checking out the AC, he's turning it on, he's like just trying to prove me wrong. Like, see, it's blowing cool air. It's blowing cool air. You had it on wrong. That's what he kept trying to tell me. You had it on energy saver. It should have been on cool. And I'm just nodding my head like, that's all I'm gonna say, because he's trying to get a reaction out of me. He's trying to get me to get defensive, like, no, 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 I had it on cool. But I'm just like, let's try the filter. Maybe there's something with the filter. He pulls the filter out. He starts yelling at me. You're supposed to clean the filter every 2 weeks. It's looking dirty, and you're supposed to clean the filter. And I was just like, oh yes, must have forgot. I apologize for that. I'm just being kind, polite, non-reactive, non-defensive. None of that, because as an empath, we have the tendency to go from 0 to 100. but I just don't even want to go to that place. So I'm just staying peaceful. I'm just trying to keep my energy zen, keep it peaceful, and just stay in this space, right? Hold the space. And he's kind of giving me all these tips like, well, heat air rises. So it's like you're on the second floor and hot air rises. So it shouldn't be hot on the second floor. And I'm just like, do you feel this right now? Is it hot? Okay, then. So math, science, heat rises, whatever. How do you feel? And when I first met you, I was like, how you doing? And the first thing you said is too damn hot. So how about stretch that, compassion over to me? It's too damn hot here, right? Um, but yeah, he's just trying all these things, saying all these tips and stuff, except fixing the air conditioner, right? He's like, oh, you should get like a floor fan that'll raise all the heat. And I'm just like, I'm just nodding, right? And then right when he's about to leave, basically without doing anything, the cold air stops blowing. And then he's like, oh yeah, the cold air stopped. And then at that point, I could have like rubbed it in his face. Like at that point, there was a huge urge to kind of rub it in his face, like, I told you so. You know what I'm saying? There was an enormous urge to do that. But I was like, nah, that's not how we roll. Not, and this is all happening subconscious in my mind. Like I'm not saying any of this, but just there was a split second of like slow motion focus where I was like, I wanted to jump in and say like, I told you so, but I didn't. I didn't say that because like, what would that have accomplished? Yes, it would have made my ego feel better in the moment, but would that have accomplished anything? Would he have probably fixed my air conditioner? He probably would have been like, fuck you. Anything could happen. Also, these maintenance people have keys to your apartment. I'm not trying to rub somebody who has access to my crib, my holy space, my feng shui temple of, you feel me, high vibrations and unlimited sources of power. I ain't giving them access to this, okay? So, with negative vibes. So I was like, what would that accomplish? Don't even do it. Even after all that abuse of him like having an attitude and then he's seeing that he was wrong. I didn't even rub it in his face. I just let him see that and he was like, oh yeah, now you right. See, he admitted himself that he was wrong. I bet and after that, his whole energy changed. His whole energy changed. I think sometimes people recognize when you have an opportunity to rub it in their face, and then sometimes doing nothing at all, choosing not to rub it in their face, has a bigger impact sometimes than rubbing it in their face for them, right? So it's like and I might be over processing this, but I feel like they realized that like if they were in your shoes, they would have rubbed it in your face, and by you not rubbing it in their face, it shows them how mature you are, and I feel like it teaches them that, wow, it makes them reflect on that whole situation, that whole interaction, and how they were treated you badly. And I feel like they feel guilty, and they actually like get into a phase of trying to like set things straight, right? Trying to remorse and be more nice. Because right after that, there was a split second where I could have reacted, and I zen, peace. You feel me? Vibes, and then his whole energy shifted, and then his whole tone shifted. He was like talking to me normal. He asked me to move a table, and then he was like sorry. He was saying sorry. It was a different person, a new guy. I was like, who's this guy? What did you do to? Completely different energy, right? And yeah, the day he got me a new AC, he fixed it, and then he's like, have a great day. I was like, thank you so much. You saved my life. Made a few jokes, left. And yeah, I say that story, just to say like it's gonna be a quick video, but you just never know the mental headspace that people are in sometimes. Like he could have been going through a million things. Like maybe his son, you feel me? His loved one could have been in a car accident, right? Maybe he has like high stress. Maybe he has hypertension. Maybe he has an illness like diabetes that makes him like when it's hot, like makes him like get really anxious and like whatever. You never know what people are going through, right? Maybe he had a death in the family. Maybe he's rushing to get home to his kids to pick his kids up from school, right? Because you know how crazy school is now. You don't want, so it's like knowing the millions of things that could be going on in somebody's head just by knowing all the shit that goes on in your head, it gives you a superpower. It gives you a superpower of tapping into your empathy and tapping into your understanding. And it just really helps me stay in my energy because it's like, why would I shift to an energy, right, of somebody else who is going through something that I'm not going through? It's not my energy to take on, right? Now, if it's not that you don't stay in your energy all the time. Like obviously, if you hurt somebody, obviously if it's your fault, right? Then like yes, don't just be acting all like, oh, I'm gonna stay in my energy. Like if you owe somebody an apology, right? Shift energies. Be genuine, be authentic, maybe be a little serious, right? But if it's not a shared energy, something that you all have built together, or something that is your fault, if it's like an unknown energy and that person didn't explain to you why they feel that day or how they feel that day, right? Then I feel like you getting into their energy is like wasting your time. And it's not helping anybody. It's not helping them or you, because it's not helping them because it's a confirmation for them to stay in that negative state. And it's definitely not helping you because it's taking you out of your happy state into their negative state. So it just doesn't work, right? At the end of the day, the only thing you can do is do the best you can of every day, putting in the work so that you can stay in a state, right? That is your own state. And your own state is only a reflection of not only what you do in private, not your reflection, your I guess recurrent state is a reflection of not only what you do in public, but mostly what you do in private. There we go, right? Because let's be real, most of us are by ourselves most of the time, especially if you're like an adult in a big city. Like the 75%, maybe 50% of your time, you're in your cubicle by yourself. You're on the toilet by yourself, right? You're sleeping by yourself. You're in the crib by yourself, right? So what are you doing with most of your time, right? And that's the question. And once you find out, once you realize the power that your time has on your mental state, then that's what's gonna like revolutionize the entire way that you process your emotions, the entire way you navigate through life. Like someone literally commented on my reel. Like I have a reel and it's like a million things on the reel. Like me making, super healthy lunch, me making my shake, grapefruit, me doing a bunch of these things like on site, on the field, like wearing my engineering vest, doing all this stuff, fooling around, doing yoga and all these things. The person pointed out meditation, like meditation will change your life. And it's 100% facts. Like meditation, I feel is responsible for like kind of these like matrix focus moments where I can just realize like in this moment what serves me. You will start to serve yourself. You'll start to perform actions that are self-serving automatically. A lot of times we have to like fuck up and then look back like, oh man, I should have did that. But meditation will make you stop doing those shoulda, coulda, wouldas less. You'll regret shit a lot less. Sometimes in the moment things will hurt, but like you'll have less burden of regret because almost every almost every decision I make since I've been on meditation has been a decision in the long run that is good for me, that I don't regret. So yeah, it just makes you lighter. It makes you be able to tolerate more fuckery. So if you're working a job that's like a lot of bullshit, you definitely got to meditate. Like you don't get no like pass. Like you should be meditating. And just day to day life, you can just shrug off things. You don't have to be caught up in the drama. You don't want drama. You just have an appetite for quality relationships, quality experiences, quality time, right? That's what you begin to value. And I'm on my journey of valuing that more. And yeah, I'm just in the space where I just want to share more of, the impact that it's had on me, the impact that staying in your energy will have on you. And yeah, let's go through this day. Let's go through this week, killing shit. Let's go through this week, putting in the work and feeding our minds, souls, and bodies. With that being said, I hope this helped, and stay hydrated, stay breathing in that good ass oxygen. And most importantly, stay basic. I love you.